All right, Sean, you've ended up here on kind of the world stage for Time Attack, and you're in a K11 Micra. What came first, the car or the one to go to the event and then you bought a car for it? How did you end up in this situation?
Well, honestly, I started off with buying the car because I saw it on my mate's back porch, and I thought that'd be fun. Had a roll cage in it. I thought this is a great opportunity to have a great daily. One thing led to another. We took it to a few track days and started to notice, it's actually performing quite well. Since then, we added a few little bits and pieces, got faster and faster, came to a World Time Attack in, 2017, and I said, I have to race it. It was a goal. It was one of those bucket list things, and to be here today, well, it's, a tick off the bucket list.
Yeah, it's a good place to be. So it starts off, these cars originally have a 1.3 litre?
Yeah, 1.3 litre CG, double overhead cam, pretty gutless, by about 70 horsepower if you really milk it. But yeah, it's not much to them.
We're in a very different position now. So can you just walk through what the current setup is?
So the current setup has a Nissan Neo VVL SR20. It's turbocharged as well, running a 6-speed V12 Primera gearbox. So it's a lot different to where it originated from, but I didn't ever see the car getting to this point, but we're here.
So we'll come back. Well, I guess the main question we'll start with, and what everyone probably wants to know is roughly how much power are we making?
We're making 550 at the wheels.
And I assume this car's pretty light. Have you had it on scales?
Yeah, we had it on the scales earlier today. Yesterday, and it was 900. So yeah, it's pretty light.
550 horsepower through front wheel drive. Everyone's probably thinking, I bet that thing torque steers. Is that the case?
Yeah, it talks a little bit. That's just the battle we have, the constant torque steer and trying to put the power down. That's probably the hardest thing, yeah.
Is there anything that you've done trying to mitigate that torque steer? Is there anything that can be done?
One thing we did do was the lower control arms are all on Heim joints now. They did have like a poly bush on the rear of the lower control arm, so changing that helped a lot. And we do play around with the tyre offset. So if we want to run a lower offset, we do get a lot better straight line, but then we find we lose a little bit in the corners as the tyre feels like it's kind of rolling over on itself. And then if we run a bigger offset, it kind of feels a lot more stable, but it's not stable in a straight line. So it's a yin and the yang.
Yeah, so I guess that comes down to this scrub radius kind of creating a bit of a lever arm effect. So the more scrub radius we have, that lever arm is bigger and the torque results in more torque steer, and at the same time any bumps or anything we hit are pulling on the steering wheel more. Can we just jump back to the engine a little bit here? So is this a factory turbo engine or is that something you've added?
No, so this is a P12 Primera motor, about the whole thing. So it's not just the head, it's the full motor. And then what we did is we actually built the motor because we blew the bottom end up on the dyno. It just started to have a little bit of a tick, and then we realized the clearances on the stock motors are very, very tight, obviously being NA. So now it's a built bottom end, and yeah, it's gapped up a lot more. So
in terms of those clearances and rods and pistons, things like that, is there anything else in particular that you've done to get to that 550 mark?
Just a big turbo. Yeah, big turbo, a lot of right foot, a lot of fuel. That's it.
And what's controlling it all?
R3, the Haltech R3, the new R3. So yeah, we've had great results from it. It's been super easy to use. So yeah, loving it.
We'll just move on a little bit from the engine. The rest of the chassis kind of needs to keep up a little bit. You mentioned before you've got Heim joints in the front. I assume you've got adjustable suspension. What have we got for the rest of the suspension and the braking package?
So we got Seeker front brakes. Forgot whether they're a 4-piston or a 6-piston. They're big. They fit. And the rear is basically a stock beam rear. And we've had to chop and add camber because we couldn't actually add any shims to the rear, which is really annoying. But yeah, so we've had to cut and modify that. then that's also been a bit of an issue this weekend, because when we cut it, we've noticed we've had a bit of toe, and a lot of toe in the rear of a car like this is not good. So yeah, that is one thing we need to fix. But as for rear suspension, it's very basic. That's pretty much all you can, and it's bits and pieces. We've actually got, I think we've got a Falcon rear spring, and then we've got a BC Gold shock. So pretty basic.
Awesome, but I mean, it's kind of doing the job for now, but moving forward, are there any changes that you want to make?
To be honest, I'm ready to put this thing to sleep. I'm ready to pack it up and just leave it, because it's done well, but I feel like the chassis is at its limit. Should probably go to something smarter, like one of these more newer cars. But yeah, I think where it is now, I can pretty much safely say it's the fastest K11 Micra to go around this track, without a doubt. So yeah, it's I'd say it's done.
I'll tick that off the list. If anyone wants to follow what you're doing, any future stuff you do with the car, or maybe a new chassis, where are they best to do so?
If you jump onto socials, go to later K11. That's what this thing is. Yeah, and I don't post enough, but yeah, I do content, throw stuff up there every now and then.
Cool. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
If you like that video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you're subscribed. We release a new video every week. And if you like free stuff, we've got a great deal for you. Click the link in the description to claim your free spot to our next live lesson.